Hey guys, this is Joe with Screen Rant. We're here at New York Comic Con 2018. I'm here with the lovely Ashley Eckstien. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm great. First of all, I love the Jodie Whittaker getup, the doctor. It
Thank
looks
you.
great.
Thank you. Yep, got my 13th Doctor's costume, and I am so ready for Doctor Who to premiere this weekend.
Listen, I've been watching BBC America. They've been doing like the 13 Days of the Doctor.
Yep.
I can't turn it off.
No, seriously, I actually watched it today, and I saw the Vincent Van Gogh episode
it's the
from
best.
from Matt Smith, because that was my first Doctor.
Really?
Was Matt Smith? Yeah. Who was your first?
My first was Paul McGann.
Oh wow,
So
you
Dr.
go way
A.
back.
Yeah, well, not too far, but right before the reboot with Christopher Eccleston.
Yep.
I loved it, and that Van Gogh episode is so good.
One of my favorites.
One of the greatest standalones. So, speaking of Doctor Who, how is it for you that the Doctor is finally a woman?
I am so excited.
Me too.
But I think I've become more excited because of Jodie Whittaker, because she is awesome.
Yes.
Like, I feel like she is exactly what I wanted for the Doctor, and I didn't even know what I wanted until I saw her as the Doctor, and I got to meet her, and her passion is just infectious.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, you're my doctor. I will follow you. You lead me. I will go wherever you take me.
So if people would like to dress like Jodie Whittaker, please tell me what you have on.
I have on, so excuse me. It's basically her costume.
Yeah.
But we're a fashion licensee, so we try to take a couple of liberties to make sure, the fit. But we have her coat, and it has, the rainbow striping on the inside, and it has a pocket for your sonic screwdriver.
Perfect.
And
You got to have that.
yes, you got to have that. And then the lining on the inside is actually, there's a full TARDIS on the inside of the jacket. There's pockets, of course. And then her top, which I think is going to become her iconic top.
Right.
With also the rainbow stripe. And then her trousers,
I
I
love
guess
it.
they say. So her cuffed trousers. And I have to say, it is so comfortable.
And it looks so comfortable. I mean, I'm going to gender bend that one for sure.
It's actually, and this is what I love about Jodie Whittaker is, she spoke at our fashion show at San Diego Comic-Con, and, she said the Doctor is any gender.
Absolutely.
And I love that, because that was the goal for her universe from day one, but that's what this world is all about. These stories are for everyone. And I hope we get to the point where we don't have to say, like, oh, it's for a boy, or it's for a girl, or, oh, we finally get a female Doctor. No, it's just we're all here together to celebrate these stories together.
And I'm glad you said that, because her universe, every time I would go by the booths at every convention I would go to, I would see the coolest Captain Marvel sweater there. And I always was like, yeah, I want that.
Yep.
So you have our universe, which is a men's line, and I saw one of my favorite Star Wars character, the Lando Calrissian cape.
Oh yes.
And now you're getting into that. Now, what inspired you to do that? Now, I know her universe was obviously for women, but what inspired you to get into the men's fashion as well?
Well, my mission from day one, like I said, is to say that this world is for everyone. I never wanted to say that this was just for women and girls, and I, fought hard to debunk the stereotype that this world was just for men and boys. To me, this story, or this world, is for everyone, and to me, Star Wars was my inspiration for that. That's what got me into it, and to me, I say Star Wars is a story of hope, and Star Wars is a story of good overcoming evil. And you can't put a gender on that. Like, that's for everyone. That's for the whole family. So my mission from day one was to bring the community together. So, and I said I wouldn't cater to men unless I felt like I could do something that men weren't getting. And so, for example, when I started doing these fashion collections, like the Clone Wars fashion collection, there were no cool fashion pieces out there for men.
Right, right.
And so I kind of felt like, well, if I'm doing this property and I have these cool fashion pieces for women, I don't want the men to feel left out. And, I think we should work towards this world, being for everyone.
Absolutely.
And so that was my goal. It's like, if that's my message, then I want to fulfill it, and I want to cater to both genders.
And not too long ago, you released a Tomb Raider line, which I thought was super cool.
Oh, thank you.
Talk to me about that, and also talk to me about some other franchises and properties that may be coming.
Well, I've been wanting to get into gaming for the longest time. I've heard the fans. I've definitely felt that female gamers have been underserved,
Yes.
for the longest time. but the thing is I've had one rule about design. Well, I've had many rules, but I've had a strict rule that all the design should come from a fan's perspective.
Right.
And, I feel like you can't do the property justice unless you can design it from a fan's point of view. And so I'm not a big gamer, and I don't know the properties. And so I felt like I couldn't do these properties justice. And therefore I was kind of too scared to design for them. But now, being a part of, Hot Topic and the Hot Topic family of brands, I work with so many incredible female gamers. And so the second that I had the chance, I was like, we are getting into gaming. I am using your knowledge of these games, and we're going to design for female gamers. So our first collection was Tomb Raider, but we have 2 more that we're releasing before the end of the year. And there's
2 more gaming line collections.
Gaming collections. We have 2 more gaming collections. One of them is just for fangirls, but one of them has a couple of pieces for guys as well. And I think you're going to be really excited. It's a very popular game right now.
I know what I'm putting on my Christmas list then already. Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yes.
The Rebels just ended. Clone Wars is just going to come back. And at Comic-Con, we got a small scene, a little preview of Anakin seeing Ahsoka as a hologram, as a surprise. Can you talk to me how Ahsoka feels from her perspective in their relationship right now?
All I can really speak about is this is right after Ahsoka left the Jedi Order.
Right.
And so I've been in this world of Star Wars Rebels where we see Ahsoka in her mid-30s.
Sure.
And at this point, she's been through a lot. She obviously discovers that Anakin Skywalker is now Darth Vader. But now we have to go back. We have to go back to that time where she just left the Jedi Order, and she doesn't know yet, obviously, that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. And so I have to go back to that place, and it's going to be good. There's some really good stories.
Is that difficult, by the way, getting into the mindset? Because when we see her in Rebels, she's obviously she's wiser. She has more experience under her belt. And when we're in Clone Wars, she's, I don't want to say more innocent, but she's definitely doesn't have the life experience as the Ahsoka we know in Rebels. Is it harder getting into that mindset of switching it back on?
It is actually. It was a little difficult. It was actually pretty difficult for me to learn Ahsoka in Rebels because
Really?
I was so used to Ahsoka in Clone Wars, and in Rebels she's very different.
Sure.
She's more like Obi-Wan. She's pretty quiet. She's internal. She is wise. And she's kind of a loner in Rebels. Versus in Clone Wars, she was more like Ezra. She was like that
Sure.
snippy Padawan, and had all these questions, and she was very naive, and she grew out of that, but she's still she was still learning. So it's like I worked so hard to get out of Clone Wars Ahsoka, and now I have to go back to it. And it's weird because some of my, because we've done a little bit of recording so far, and some of my lines, I read them more like Ahsoka and Rebels. And
Oh, really?
so, having to flip-flop, it takes a minute to jump back and forth.
The Disney streaming service is going to be brand new, and this is where we're going to see Star Wars, Clone Wars, I don't want to say make its debut, because it's like, make its return, I guess.
Yes.
Now, with the streaming service, it opens the door for a lot of Star Wars possibilities. As we know, Jon Favreau's doing the live action, which it was just recently announced, Mandalorian tale.
Yes.
And we also know that Ahsoka's taken up the Mandalorian cause. So, if there was a possibility to have you play the live action Ahsoka, which we all want, is it more likely to happen now? Possibly. Maybe.
I cannot speak to that, obviously, and your guess is as good as mine. I can honestly sit here today and tell you I have no clue about anything live action with Ahsoka.
Sure.
So, truly, your guess is as good as mine. What I can say is, this year I had the opportunity to write a book, and it was all about making your dreams come true.
Sure.
And the first step in making your dreams come true is to throw your dreams out into the universe and to say them out loud. And I've always been kind of shy to say out loud that of course I'd love to play Ahsoka in live action. You know, of course that's a dream of mine. But now I guess I have to take my own advice and, you know, to throw it out into the universe and say, you know, if I was right for it, you know, you never know, you know, depending on what age they.
Sure.
Right for it. Of course I would love to play Ahsoka, and that would definitely be a dream of mine to play Ahsoka in live action. So I'm throwing it out into the universe.
Now, between you and Dave Filoni, you guys know Ahsoka better than pretty much anybody. And just from your perspective as a fan, where do you think Ahsoka would be now in the current Star Wars universe? Just as a fan. Obviously, you don't know the...
So the only reason why I'm hesitant to answer that, and not because I can't, because I can certainly speak ad nauseum as a fan, but I've had nothing to do with the writing of the series. I say, trust me, you don't want the stories that I would write, because I joke that Ahsoka, you know, the joke online is that Ahsoka would end up running a pony farm, which that is very much an inside joke. Pablo Hidalgo, his wife Kristen Hidalgo, loves Ahsoka, and it always makes her sad when she walks away. So to make her happy, she tells herself that Ahsoka is just walking off to her pony farm to go run it. So I joke that, you know, you don't want the stories that I would write. Dave Filoni and his writing team, they write the most incredible Star Wars stories.
They sure do.
Especially for Ahsoka. Dave writes the most incredible stories for Ahsoka. So, you know, I don't know, because anything that I would come up with wouldn't be nearly as cool as what Dave would come up with. So I'm just grateful that they've allowed me to bring a lot of my own personality to Ahsoka. So I've had a pretty heavy influence in how I read the lines, but I have nothing to do with the writing. I'm going to leave that to Dave Filoni.
Fair enough. Now, I do want to talk about your book for a second, because you are such an inspiration to everybody out there, mainly from everything you've done and everything you've created. What inspired you to write that book?
You know, it all started because of Ahsoka. All roads lead back to Ahsoka. But I had the privilege of helping promote the Ahsoka book that E.K. Johnston wrote. And I had the opportunity to do the audiobook for that. And so I went on a book tour with them to help promote the book. And afterwards, the book was such a success because I wanted to prove that female Star Wars characters could sell books.
Sure.
And we proved it. It was a huge success. And so I was meeting with Disney, and they said, you know, well, we had such a great time working together. What more could we do together? And I was thinking fiction, because Ahsoka was a fiction book.
Sure.
And they actually asked, they said, you know, would you ever write an autobiography or a memoir? And I immediately was like, ugh, you know, it was kind of intimidating to,
right.
I didn't actually feel that I had done enough to warrant a memoir. But I thought about it, and I said, well, if you'll let me, I will write my story, but more of as an advice book.
Sure.
On, you know, here's what I did, here's why I believed I could, and here's how you can do it too. So it's a step-by-step guide on how to make your dreams come true.
That's amazing.
And by the end of the book, you should have a roadmap on how to dream it and do it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, guys, you guys can get all of her universe, our universe, at Hot Topic. Check it out online. Amazing stuff. And I can't wait for this winter, where we're getting 2 video game pieces inspired. I'm excited to see that as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Thanks
to
for
see you
having
again.
me.
Of course.
Thank you.